don't even know how to do this live.
We are going live in 5.
I shared it. Who's watching the comments?
4. Live.
Conversation. I started up, new way of thinking for a generation. I started up straight from the bottom, went straight to the top. Went from the block, got in the building, brought it back to the block. Organizing all of my hustlers, no more running from cops. We cleaning this trap.
What up, Union Society? Y'all already know what it is. It's your man Montana Black, and we back with another episode of Union Society. We got the homegirl Rizzy Roz in the building, all in black. What's going on?
You changed my name though? I was
Hot Rizzy Roz.
I know he forgot to say. He forgot to say you and I on society. I was so waiting for that.
Did I?
No.
I didn't do that.
No.
Okay.
I was trying to cheer you on. I was ready.
Okay.
You
All right.
and
Can we finish the introduction?
Yeah.
All right, we got Philly Boss Woman in the
No,
building.
what's up, y'all?
You know what I'm saying? In the homeboy Q Mo fresh flow. Y'all already know.
Mac,
Miss-
all dressed in black.
You ain't no Mac.
Oh, I ain't no Mac.
You ain't no Mac. You don't
She
be
got
Mac in the hose.
She got Mac Cosmetics.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't be Mac. You don't be getting no hoes though.
Nah, I need those.
You need hoes.
You need hoes. Everybody need hoes. Without hoes, make the world go round.
What?
And
Hoes
different
make the
area
world go
codes.
Why do
round.
we need
That's
hoes?
why they're in
We are
different
the
area
hoes.
codes.
No,
Yeah.
men can be hoes.
Yeah.
She said we are the hoes.
I mean,
Hoes are us.
Yo.
we are the hoes.
Oh my God.
She done made a whole record up.
Yo.
I don't,
We are
listen,
the one to
first of
make
all,
it
before we go any further,
Yeah.
I want to send a strong rest in peace to 3 of my homies. My man Amir Hands, my best friend Denny Blue, and my homeboy who DJ'd for me at the Troc. He was a strong force in the hip hop community. My homeboy DJ Thoroughbred, who I'm gonna be going to his viewing this Wednesday.
Oh,
like
man.
it's been a crazy.
R.I.P.
Yeah, that has been.
Yeah.
Man.
Crazy, like, listen,
I still seen a picture of him the other day.
since
Just like
last
crazy.
year, it's just been back to back to back people checking out, man.
Yeah.
And you know, my condolences to all of their families and loved ones and kids and brothers and sisters and mothers. We got to start reaching out to each other more often. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I started hitting up guys that I ain't seen in years, but they was always close with me. Like, we got money together, we got women together, we did a whole bunch of crazy shit together.
You
like,
ain't share them, did you?
huh?
You ain't share
I did not. I didn't. I don't share.
Really, Roz? Really?
No, she. It's a legitimate question.
Oh.
It's absolutely a legitimate question. Yes.
Y'all got women together. I'm like,
We
y'all
did.
share them too?
Listen,
That is.
I have shared, but I've never checked the oil after somebody else did.
Oh yeah, you didn't. Double.
No, I didn't. But other people have, you know,
Check
put
under the
their
hood.
dipstick in the oil that I checked.
Dipstick,
But I never.
Why did she do this whole check under the hood thing? Like, why did you do
That's how
that?
you open your
Check
hood.
the hood. Really, Roz? Really, Roz?
Literally, both hoods.
Yo.
No matter what hood you talking about,
I
this is how you open the hood.
don't do the hood like that.
Like, yeah.
Huh?
I'd use this. I don't go.
Same thing. Come on, bro. It's the same thing, bro. It's the same thing, bro.
In the
One
car,
finger.
in the car, I do the one finger.
Listen, you ain't never. Listen, you can get these two.
The truth comes
Some-
out, y'all.
Sometimes you can get. Sometimes you can get 3. If
Really?
you might have to hold this one. But you know what? 3 in the pink, one in the stink.
Then tell me. I went
2 in the
in
pink, 1 in the stink.
Oh my
When I went to
gosh.
Louisiana on the main road, they had the biggest, I don't know if it was a Hustler, whatever it was, sex toy shop. How do they have a whole motherfucking fist?
Yeah, I'm
That
like,
happens.
Have you seen, like...
He said it happens. This happens.
This does happen.
Have you ever came close to anything like that?
I've never stuck my fist in
Have you
anything.
not?
Yeah,
No.
honestly,
Oh my God, I got
a couple
I
hours
just
ago,
got know this
trying to
dirt.
keep my collard greens and macaroni and cheese down while y'all talking about some fist and shit.
You know what? I want to talk about that.
About what?
Saying.
I want to talk about generational curses. And because what you just brought up, macaroni and cheese, and collard greens, right?
Yeah.
Generational curses are passed down through family.
Right.
True.
Your grandmother's recipe for that sodium and saturated collard greens is a generational curse. That was slave food. There is no need to be eating that now.
What?
There's no need to be eating chitlins, hog mugs.
Oh, I ain't even cooking chitlins
No.
in my
Listen.
motherfucking house.
It's high cholesterol, it's high blood pressure, and we are still passing down recipes
But-
from.
We use smoked.
Why intestines?
It doesn't matter.
Why?
It doesn't matter. Like
That's
the
not
food
making
that we're eating, and as I sit here and sip this
Right. There's a
juice
critical
from Wendy's,
Wendy's
and eat,
burgers.
I wasn't going to say nothing about it.
Oh,
You
no,
just
no.
told on yourself.
You're right. You're right. I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite.
No.
Oh, yeah. You're not going to Derek Jackson.
I'm not going to be a Derek Jackson. I'm not going to sit here and say
Yeah.
I don't be eating poison and be drinking. Listen, I'm not going to act like
It's not every week.
I don't be. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't be preaching some bullshit about shit that people do that I don't do.
I hear you.
I do it too.
I hear you.
That's just legit keeping real for real.
Yeah.
What we do is we
Y'all
modify
talk
our
shit
shit
to
to
sell
make it more
anything.
healthier. We're not going to eat it every week. It's not every week we eat macaroni and cheese and collard greens. That's like maybe once a month.
But the
if
chitlins,
that.
I don't understand.
Don't eat chitlins. Don't eat hog maws. We don't.
Do you all eat that stuff?
Only time we
Right.
eat like.
Have you eat it? Do you eat
Only
it?
time
I mean,
we eat
I've
ham
had
hocks
it.
is
This
when
is
like
not
we
my
have
thing like that.
New Year's Eve we get the blackout
It's
pizza.
Hey yo, I got. Hold on. Before we go any further, my man's in the building. Jakim is in the building. That be backing me up. He be backing me up on the feed.
How you doing?
Peace.
Yo, Ja, have a seat right back there, brother, on any one of those
Between the
benches.
ladies, right here.
You can sit right there in the middle with the ladies. Yo, my man Jakim just came through. It is an honor. Excuse me.
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's that poison. It's the
right
poison.
here.
Listen.
I was just eating that poison. That's what I'm talking about. We talking about generational curses, man. Listen,
Why insult food though? I mean, anything
because
like
even passing down a
A recipe for disaster.
recipe for disaster, everybody popping up right now. We got Stevie Franks just popped. Stevie Franks just popped out. He just popped out. You know what I'm saying?
What we do.
it's a party.
What it
every
do?
year.
It is a
This is how
party.
it's supposed
Welcome,
to go down,
everybody.
though.
Yes.
This is how it's supposed to go down.
That's what's up.
You feel me?
Wait, y'all would have the same pants on?
No, they
No, they don't.
almost.
You got the zippers. I got the little spiky joints.
Yeah, I don't know if I.
That's a Jersey thing. That's a.
Yeah.
Hold on, because I got.
New Jersey.
It's kind of, you know,
Yeah, you got the like the
got
pad
the Spike
joints.
Jones on there. I don't know if I would do that though.
I
Oh, he
probably
does
wouldn't.
have
do
I had
that.
the spike joints
They the
because
Billie Jeans.
well, I had the spike joints because it matched the jacket. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I had the
All right.
jacket that had the joints on it on the,
The studs.
sleeves.
You
Yeah,
had
it had
the
the studs
studs.
on the sleeves.
New
so
Jerseyans?
That's just
Word.
swag, cuz do you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I wouldn't do that though.
It's all good.
That's cool.
Listen, don't walk up on me. You might get kicked.
that's a
You know what I
good
mean?
idea.
Like, oh my God.
You got the spike knee.
Word. Spike knee.
We
Do the right thing.
should do
Spike knee. Do the right thing.
Oh, there's more people.
No, that's the.
I put that back.
folk.
That's not my fault.
Hold on, it's around here
People
somewhere.
in the bathroom. Oh, this catch, the hand.
You know what I'm saying?
Got a
Your dad on crowd like,
back
yeah,
up
that's my
in here.
Yo, we got a full house up in here right now, but we kind of staying, you know,
Yeah.
a little bit
Social distant.
social distancing a little bit,
A little bit.
a little bit.
4.5
Minute
feet.
one of y'all cough them out. I'm saying.
But I think they, it's like, all right. So what is the purpose of 6 feet?
I'm guessing
Because when
they
you
feel
sneeze
like it
and
ain't,
stuff,
ain't
the
gonna
air
go
would
that
yeah,
far.
it kind of
6
When you
lingers.
talk-
I'm gonna tell you what I heard.
when you sneeze, it's 8 feet anyway.
Why is everything?
I'm gonna tell you what I heard.
Why is everything? You're 6 feet under. Why is everything 6 feet?
I'm gonna tell you what I'm actually 6 feet tall, but I'm gonna tell you what I heard though. I heard the reason why you gotta stand 6 feet is because after the vaccination and they put the nanotechnology in you, the computers or satellites won't be able to tell you apart unless you're standing 6 feet from each other.
That would be. Yes. All right, my
That
sheep
probably
people.
would make sense.
my sheep people. This is for you.
All right. Which vaccine?
This is why this is my guy.
I believe that.
My guy is going to back my play.
Which
Which
vaccine is it?
Which one does it matter?
I heard that.
They all got the all three got the nanotechnology.
Bill Gates
That's
is
the
one that had it.
qualification in order to get funding in order to produce a vaccine.
I thought there was only
Right.
Bill-
You had to submit to the criteria that was already in play.
Look, that was the market
put
devil
in
years
the
ago.
vaccine.
Well, I heard that
So-
Bill and Melinda Gates were the only one that had that in
The
there.
nanonites that's placed in the vaccine.
How many different names of vaccines are there?
You got
Oh, there's a
Moderna,
lot.
Johnson and Johnson, and
You have
Pfizer.
three major approved, accredited
government backed.
pharmaceutical companies that actually got the contracts last year.
Okay, so it's three different ones right now.
Two major.
Two
That's
major.
Moderna, Pfizer, and
Yeah, I heard.
And Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah, I heard the Moderna is
Well,
like
AstraZeneca
crazy.
got pulled.
You know what I mean?
I heard that.
And Johnson and Johnson got
What's it,
recalls too,
Pfizer?
right?
They got
Yeah.
recalls.
I got that.
How are you going to recall a vaccine that you put in a human being?
That's crazy.
Now, they
That's
didn't
why
have
they
a
didn't
recall.
sign it.
Johnson & Johnson had an incident.
Okay.
Somebody died.
Whereas when they shipped,
Okay.
shipped the
Oh, that's right. I heard about
see,
that.
Johnson & Johnson is probably the more preferred one out of the ones that are offered.
It's a one shot.
Not just one shot.
It's a lower dose.
There's a system that Johnson & Johnson went through versus Pfizer and Moderna and GlaxoSmithKline. They had tested their trials in Germany already.
Right. Johnson and Johnson did.
Right, and then they didn't they didn't send anything out to anyone else until they adjusted to the mutation of the actual
Of the virus, right. So that one might be the more
So they're the
proficient one.
The latter
Okay.
of the three preferred. And
Right.
they're one shot.
Right.
Which, isn't that one where it's
But
like
they're supposed to
it's
be
like
less
8
of a-
shots
less
on
of
one
a-
or something like that? It's
No,
like
What
eight
did you also
shots.
hear?
Which
It's
one
every
is that?
6 months.
You got to do it every 6 months.
Yes, they're starting to say. My mom had COVID. We're learning all this. She had COVID. She was supposed to get her second shot. They now told her, because they inject her with the IV, she now has the antibody. She has to wait 3 months to even get the second shot because she's going to test positive regardless of being not.
My brother had the
Spreadable.
Johnson and Johnson one. He's fine. They did the teachers.
Listen,
I mean,
I saw today with my research, and I see medical people saying that the what's it, the
Pfizer.
Pfizer.
Yeah, Pfizer shot has killed over 700 people since January,
A little bit more than
That's
that.
crazy.
and that I'm not.
From what
I believe it, and some may say this is partly the rapture coming. I don't know what to believe anymore.
Listen,
nowadays.
I'm not even going to get into the whole
I'm not
religious
either.
aspect because, again, when we're talking about generational curses, like this is information that gets passed down that changes over the course of time and starts to become incorrect. A lot of it.
okay.
So this is what we was talking about generational curses, and I started off with the food.
But doesn't that generational
Yeah,
curse
nah.
also come with the fact that the knowledge you have now is not presented or known back then, so you wouldn't know you were in the wrong or how wrong you were?
It don't. Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if the information wasn't there and available,
It
The
was only
information
there
has
if you didn't
always
make
been
it.
there.
Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
been there.
There's
no matter how
nothing
much
that's
you
here
research.
now that hasn't always been there. Whether you knew how to apply it or put it
Right,
in the
or
right
find it.
perspective.
okay, so you're saying collard greens and chitlins, things of that nature, of health perspective, work.
Health.
As far as with your health.
How was collard greens with?
No, I'm just saying. You said that right now that it's not a healthy thing to eat.
It
all the
wasn't
time.
healthy then either.
Right, but do we know that back then? We weren't able to read back then. No, we were not. We were not able to do those kind of things to know that it wasn't healthy. for
Once
us.
you see people start killing over from it, you can then realize this is not healthy without being able to read.
We're killing over from collard greens.
Okay,
Just go to death and collard greens. That's what I want to know.
No,
That's an extreme example. I understand what you're saying.
How we get to death and collard
he
greens?
like, yo, that nigga just died. Pass that shit.
But
That's how it goes too, though.
No, that's,
Right.
wait, hold on.
Yo, let me smoke that shit. That nigga just died from that shit. I need to hit that.
Large point that we have as a concerning the people that were in the activity of the business of slavery.
Uh huh.
We were cultural we had knowledge of self.
And medicine.
Right.
And
We had
Knowledge of
traditions
self.
Right.
that were
not knowledge itself, knowledge of self.
The mathematical, I get it.
That's the possession thereof, the activity of the application thereof. You make the knowledge that's within you applicable to your life. You'll benefit from it.
Right.
So your parents can be academically unlearned.
Right.
However, be culturally rich. So they'll be professors of tradition, which will allow you.
This is what I be talking about.
Exactly.
Of your past, all of the tricks that were used before. If a trick is never revealed, then it can be used again and again.
And that's what's happening still to this day.
Things that keep you in endless jobs hitting that glass ceiling because it doesn't allow you to think outside the box.
At the end of the day, you can't pass a job down to your kids. Right? So why does it make more sense to spend 40 hours a week to make 40 years of your life making somebody else rich instead of taking the time to build something of your own that you can pass down to a generation? You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people will rather retire at 65, 68 from a position of scarcity, right? And trying to just make things last until the next 2 weeks for their entire life instead of going into the hole, going into the dark, where they don't know when this shit is going to end.
Right.
But the crazy thing is you don't even know when a job's going to end nowadays.
But that's the thing.
No security.
That's
I don't care
your
what
whole
position
life
you're
is in the hands of some. They can wake up one morning and be like, "You remind me of my ex-wife. You fired."
Yeah.
That's real.
Nah,
I've been through 3 layoffs
people don't
already.
have- people lack courage and that job
what does that equate in history? Like, think of America's economics. How is it built? It was built on the back of a system of slavery.
Right.
So the people were trained and conditioned to think servitude in every way, even when you don't think that you're a slave.
But here's the thing.
Functioning as a slave.
This is my perspective, right? Why stop something like Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves?
Never gonna stop.
Yeah, but why would I stop something that works?
They're not gonna stop it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, think about this for a second. I'm not going to stop doing something that fucking works. What we're going to do is we're going to expand on this shit. And we're going to hide it a little deeper
and rebrand it.
We're going to rebrand it and sell it as a job. And that's what it got accepted as. Yeah. Like, it's not slavery because we're paying you, but you have to pay your bills and you have to pay your rent and you have to pay. So we're gonna use you literally, and you have to pay taxes. You gotta pay taxes when you make the money, and you gotta pay taxes when you spend the money.
The same thing that you came over here claiming that you revolted from.
You implement it. You implement it because that's what you know.
You got a taste of that greed. You got a taste of that greed.
It's not even about the greed. It's about the power in the nature of the beast, right? So having that power, like, and we're going to return to those positions willingly every day because we don't want to sit in the dark and use candles. We don't want to grow our own food. We don't want to. It's complacency.
Complacency and dependency.
Right. Lazy motherfucker.
So,
lazy.
And I was telling somebody the other day, like,
lazy. The more you don't do,
huh?
Generational curse.
Generational curse. But you got to know what they are, though, because a lot of people would be thinking, "Oh, it's demons that's coming after me," and this, that, and the third, and they going after my sons, and they going after my daughters, and it's like, the real shit is right here. The real fucking curse is right here in front of you, but you don't even see, touch, taste, or feel it because it's like, this is the norm to you. This is how it's supposed to be.
Hide in plain sight.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, if you recognize generational curse, you could stop it at yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you recognize your family messes up certain things from generation to generation, you say, okay, I'm going to stop that from happening with me. I'm going to educate myself a little bit more. So when I have offspring, whatever the case may be, they won't be going the same route my grandparents or parents before me went and did the same thing. You know?
Right. That's a fact. I really believe that it has to come from. It goes, just like you said, generational curses, where it goes from one thing down to another. You being taught what your parents are being taught, what their parents are being taught, but then that's also a problem when there ain't no parents teaching nobody.
Right.
So now we have a real serious issue where now if you don't have the parents, but it's all part, like if you notice it, like I want to say maybe in the 70s, I noticed there was a lot of two-parent households, right? A lot of two-parent. Then when it came to the 80s, it was a single-parent household. Then it became the 90s, it wasn't no parents, and then the grandparents raising.
Yeah.
Now we going into the 2000s and up, it ain't even them no more. It's the system raising the kids.
Yeah.
The
So
TV.
now-
It is
Get the
true.
TV.
That is
Right.
very
TV raised a
true.
lot of kids too.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Google mom.
Siblings are taking over. Yep.
Generational, that technique that was used to break us when we first got here, like when you separate a child from a parent, and then you place that child somewhere else, and you allow that child to become a parent, but then you separate that parent from
Right.
this child,
Dilution
and then
it.
you repeat this process repetitively.
Dilution.
It's been repeated so much that I've noticed that with all three of my children's mothers, by the time the kids was 6, the mothers was ready to roll
Right.
and get out of the situation, whereas though I wouldn't be able to navigate my children properly,
Right.
I have to do it from a distance.
Right. A shadow-like position.
And it's like they do it on their own though. Nobody's making them do this now.
No.
Because they had
Someone is. Like,
You're
like,
right,
think,
because
everybody does something.
that housing authority, you can't have no man living there and pay $35 a month.
It's the system. Like we was talking, the brother speaking on generational activity, right? Earlier, I was dealing with the mentoring group, and we were dealing with the activity of politics. How does it affect you? And black people seem to be somewhat in 2021 genetically inclined to have an affinity for the Democratic Party.
And don't even know that the
However,
Democrats
knowing nothing
about the Democratic
Where
Party.
the history, yeah.
And
I hear that a lot.
there was a comment made by a president, Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was an open bigot and open racist from Texas, Louisville, Texas. And he made a statement after Kennedy was assassinated. He said, now that I can complete the work of Kennedy and sign the Civil Rights Bill, I'll have these Negroes voting for the Democratic Party for the next 200 years.
Oh shit.
And we don't realize that democracy
Yeah.
human rule. And if you
Democracy.
look at how democracy has been tried throughout history, and I'm speaking 1,300 years ago, when Socrates first was denouncing the democracy because he was saying it won't work. He said the human being has empathy for self, if nothing else, for more but for self, and will die for the representation of self and the defense of self. So democracy wouldn't work. However, we've been tricked and bamboozled into living up under a democracy, which is that system that gives us that generational activity that consistently depreciates our advancement rather than, gain benefit to our advancement.
The amazing part to me though is like how nobody sees this. How is it that like it's written right when you pick up your mail, when you watch TV, like you can see it.
It's just like when you look
You
for
see
something you need to use, and it's right in front of you. You can't see
You
it.
see it. What if you're mentally dead, though?
Right.
Yeah, so they're
We're
gonna
distracted
the
all
only
the time. You
people that
can't
are gonna
see it.
survive
But
are the ones that
it all comes back full circle, like, and it's crazy you talking about the democracy thing, right? And people have been so numb and so fooled by what's being put in front of their face. But see, they don't understand. Like nobody will. I don't talk about it too much because I don't really like to hear other people's opinions too many times because it's like I'm always
stupidity.
right.
You have to educate them.
Right, because you always going to end up being the bad guy because you
know what?
speaking real things. Listen, but no, let me finish, bro.
Go ahead.
Let me finish, right? So like that everybody had what they had to say about Trump, right? Everybody always saying Trump this, Trump this, Trump that. But what they don't understand, what Trump was trying to do, Trump was trying to get the bread. You feel what I'm saying? And he was trying to give everybody they just do, right? But check it out, though. They didn't like him because he used to bring a lot of stuff to the forefront. He used to put him out there like, oh, y'all want to do this to me? Well, this, that, and the third is going on. But then they try to put that out there, oh, Trump has this, and let's impeach him and do, you know what I'm saying? But even though he was a nut, don't get me messed up, he was a nutball all the way around the board.
Yeah.
And mind you, my brother, when we call people a nut, we got to remember our position in our own lives. And Trump is a great argument for our community. Remember about 12 years ago when Trump had the Apprentice show?
He was the man.
Like, he was the man. Now,
And before then.
Right, I'm a little bit older in different aspects in the stuff that I've dealt with in the history of Trump. I didn't like Trump when I was a teenager because I grew up in New York, and he had this big campaign out that had us being harassed for 18 months straight by all police. If you was young and you was black.
Around the Central Park 5 situation.
Yeah, it was crazy. But I've also seen Trump doing stuff in the other industry that I've functioned in, like boxing. Whereas, couldn't tell fighters nothing. If Trump was on the assistant of the promotion, then the fight was going to be the biggest and he was going to get paid the most.
Absolutely.
My boxing promoter is Murad Muhammad. Murad Muhammad had a direct contract with Trump for 20-some years, promoting fights from Atlantic City to Miami. Seeing Trump interact with money, I also had a magazine and had to write an article on the transition of Trump and Obama. And that's when I studied Trump and found out exactly who Trump was. And Trump is a genius.
Absolutely.
And
he's a businessman. He knows how to work it.
Right, in all of his undertaking. He's also the son and the genealogy, the generational activity of aristocracy. So he's an aristocrat. And he's never been a politician. See, aristocrats set this country up. Aristocrats are the English and the Dutch that had the money, that had the authority, that had the political power from the motherland. So they came over, and what they set up was the financial system that we live up under, which everybody go to work every day. You come to America. Everybody, all the immigrants that we call immigrants, the invaders, came over here to go to work. Everybody wanted to come, the American dream, come over, find a job, right picket fence, you know,
house,
send your children.
Insurance. Once the insurance came, I felt that was the biggest part of my career. For some reason, back in the day when I was ignorant to all this stuff, when I was, go to school, do this, get your college degree. When I got my job, it was looking at the insurance benefits. Like, I feel like they just threw that in there, like, hey, you got security with insurance benefits.
Well, the insurance and the 401k, right? The 401k plan and the insurance and the benefits, but what you have to ask
pensions before that,
right? And before that was pensions. But what you have to ask yourself is, like, how does this really work for me? How am I going to get the most out of this situation? And a lot of people, like, if you're not learning the business that you're in, like compensation and education, I'm saying, if you're not getting one or the other or both out of a job, then it's asinine.
You know what's crazy though? Looking at, and I tell you, I judge my job not off it. You look at it, you look at the salary, you look at the insurance, and most of the time, think about it. Somebody without insurance right now, how much medical debt do you rack up so fast? You are in debt so fast from medical. Like, so to me, even though insurance was like, okay, it was really only costing me this much, it felt like it was worth so much more. They just lock you in with crap like this, and I feel like my mindset was stuck there.
Vampires.
And then
you know who the insurance companies are?
Yeah, they are the people that started those companies trading their slaves.
But, exactly.
Using their slaves as
insurance companies are bankers.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that.
Right.
They're all
it's
bankers.
The biggest con that has
ever
existed.
They go and trade your money, make more money.
Yep. The biggest con of all business. Because just think,
I'm paying you for something that might not happen.
Right. If you've been in a car accident, right, maybe once in your life,
but you're still paying for it. Yeah.
But you've been driving for 20 years. So
and you don't even get the money back.
You've been paying insurance for a maybe, And then when the incident actually happened,
It
you have
didn't
to
cost
go
him.
through an actual trial to show and prove
That you had it
that you
should get your money that you've been giving them.
Yeah.
of the allotment given for the accident.
It's a scam.
I'm like, yo,
It's all a
same thing with life
scam.
insurance.
It's all business.
Yeah.
That's a big-
All of
that's a
it.
big
It's
fact.
not business. It's literally
It
a
is a scam.
scam.
It is
Nah,
a scam.
seriously.
It's
Like,
a,
You're right.
I wouldn't call it a scam. I would call
Scam
it
is
was
a
a
business.
scheme, but it's not a
Healthcare is a
scam.
business. and it's still a scam.
Remember this. If you've been a scam artist, see, scamming is a business. It's a part of business.
Absolutely.
And I can scam you all I want as long as I don't get caught.
Or make it
fake
legitimate.
products,
Listen, that has been my motto. My motto has
just
been
said.
everything is legal until you get caught.
Yes,
But
If you don't get caught doing it, it's not illegal.
But here's the thing, we're talking. But here's the thing,
Right, exactly.
if we're sitting around here talking about it, we've already exposed the quote unquote scam. But the idea of it is, and I was actually talking about this with Kilogram also because he was talking about Primerica and all that. The thing is with even life insurance, we're talking about generational activity and such. If somebody passes away, so many of us are doing fish fries and so on and so forth, trying to bury our loved ones, and we don't have life insurance policies to do that. We're not passing down assets to our generations. But if you had like a $250,000, $300,000, $1 million
Life insurance.
policy or whatever, you're setting up that that the rest of your family or your next generation to have something. And in that sense, I wouldn't call it a scam because at least you have something that they can actually use tangibly to go buy a house, go pay off.
But is that
all
gonna
of
happen?
that. Say that again.
Is that gonna happen?
If you have it,
That's the risk.
That's not gonna happen.
Everybody dies.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
No, if
Hold
you
on.
if
Here's-
you have
here's
a
the
if you
caveat.
have a policy,
Right. Here's the
they're
caveat to
legally
that.
The only way
bound
you
to
benefit
pay
is
that off.
No,
is
I'm
to
not
buy
saying
your
that
policy
part.
and die
Okay.
I'm
2
not saying
weeks
that part.
later.
Like, yeah, they'll legally bound to pay that off.
Right.
But in our community, what's gonna happen to that money?
Most times it cheats to the government because we don't have a will and we don't have a policy.
Right.
All right. The point that I was about to get at, right?
What he meant is this.
We gonna blow that money
Once you acquire the money by having knowledge.
because you have no financial literacy.
Oh, so I see what you're saying. You're going to just squander
Yeah.
it. I got you.
I get
I
that.
got yes.
It's not going to set up
can't-
generations.
So it has
Because
to
if you can't manage $100, you
But-
can't manage
I
$1,000.
agree. So we
Keep
have to
your
do it in
parameters, right?
well, you can have parameters,
you
but
get
you
parameters on your inheritance or whatever money you pass down your family. Say, look, you can only do this or spend this if you do this, that, and the other.
if you know how to set up the parameters in a way that's going to be beneficial to the beneficiary.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a
If you know
financial literacy aspect. That
There's
has to
another
be
part.
done in tandem.
There's
with all
another
that.
part to what you're saying, though, right? Because there are mass killings in the black community by the black community, right? So, and we don't have life insurance, but we got insurance on our phone. But if we had life insurance and all of these killings that happened in the hood, and now these insurance companies got to pay out, do you think that the police would be more active in stopping the killings?
Yes.
I don't.
Yes, because they don't want
They don't want the
payout.
insurance companies to pay out.
Yeah,
brother-
because
There's the scam.
My brother, the first step.
So if we killing each other and there's no insurance policies, who gives a fuck? Let them kill each other.
Right.
But if everybody started getting insurance and we still killing each other,
Because
and
now
now the
they-
insurance companies got to pay out, now you care?
Yeah,
They know most of them
there's-
don't have insurance policies.
Right. So the insurance companies are going to come after the cities for that.
Of 6 people, and you have an insurance policy. Do you know, in our state of ignorance, Junior got killed. Craig ends up killing Larry
For the money.
over money that he believed that he should have based upon.
Thank
his
you.
death of Junior.
This is the point that I'm making, bro.
You see what the brother did out that thing bad did out there in the Midwest? Shot the whole family up over the stimulus money.
Yes, I did see that.
$1,400.
I did.
Heard about that.
Yes.
Like, kill
Bro,
four people.
like you kill family, people that have at some point
Taking care
a
of you.
love for you, right? You kill them over that, and you wouldn't rob a bank.
See, what I don't get.
You be hurting.
You ain't got the
your
balls to rob a
blood.
bank.
No,
You that type of
exactly.
dude,
That's what
so
I'm-
you did that,
But you won't.
but you wouldn't rob a bank.
That's learned
Your
behavior.
family
Here's the
first,
question,
that's
then.
crazy.
When do we lose the value of life that we can be taken just like that? Why do we? What happens to us that we have to sit there and just bam over that little bit of money?
It's trauma too. Like, you know, traumatizing as far as like the value of life. If people around you are losing their life at a rapid rate and the value of it is just so low, you ain't gonna value life.
But even
And I can definitely attest to that because like how we started off with this, man, and I was telling y'all about, you know, at least 5 of my homies done checked out.
Yeah.
And it just makes me feel like what the fuck is the point?
Yeah, nah, for real.
It
I mean,
does.
at the
It
end of the
starts
day,
to
it's
feel
like, what the
end.
fuck is
Like,
the
oh
point?
my God.
But like you
It's like
said,
hopeless.
Like,
also,
it's really close. It has been really close for the last 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and each year go by,
and each year it's just getting closer. Like, you know, growing up, you watched the elders in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Not even thinking like, damn, we in line.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you watch your mother's friends and relatives and your father's friends and relatives, and you're not even thinking like, you know,
next.
I'm going to grow up and then it's going to be me and my friends, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and then my nieces and nephews under us, looking at us, they have no awareness of like, they next in line, and like, we all in line
And just-
to go to the fucking hole,
And it's
bro.
more
Yeah, but we
it's-
take granted.
for granted.
We take for
I
granted.
talk tonight. And I don't even drink.
Yeah, you did.
Wine cooler.
Good
You know I hand him a handy.
You do not handle your liquor.
No, shut up.
Is that what you just said?
No, I don't. I said
Test
hand him a
about that
handy.
one day.
Anyway.
Who hand us looking better? All of us go out.
What the hell
I
are
know
you
you don't
talking
drink.
about? See, I'm too old for this shit.
See? Don't blame me.
About that,
What's that?
Yeah,
like
kill
when
me.
you speak on the activity of generational curses, right?
Oh.
When you have a generational curse, you can't gauge or have a consciousness of the curse if you don't have generational culture, which is tradition. So if you don't have that to know who you are, you can't recognize when something's wrong.
And this is why my family, like, I'm the black sheep of my family because all these other traditions that don't have nothing to fuck to do with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, lighting up a goddamn tree. I'm gonna light this booth light up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or putting fucking pumpkins. Like, all right, we follow this belief, but this one day we gonna celebrate the dead.
And that's not a tradition. See, that's
Like, what the fuck is that?
They label
Halloween.
Harvest.
so-called holiday gatherings and celebrations as traditions. That's not.
That's not tradition.
No, we know.
It's not a
And
tradition.
cooking a certain way. The recipe can be a tradition,
Right.
but the event
It's
is
not a tradition. It,
And that's the problem with us. A general
Bro,
problem
I
with us
recognized this
overall.
at 9 years old. At 9 years old, I'm like, this shit ain't got nothing to do with my culture and who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's like
and my parents, you know, it was an inherited mindset for them. And, like, you trying to imprint this on us so that I'm not doing this with my kids.
I didn't know
You're
that
supposed to.
the Day of the Dead is a Mexican holiday celebrating the dead.
The
But
dead.
that's like starts at midnight on Halloween that we sitting there celebrating, going and getting our candy
Now,
and
see,
shit.
we know who
I
Saint
didn't.
Nick came from too. Where did Easter Bunny come from?
The Easter Bunny comes from Esther, who is the god Easter, who's
Okay.
the fertility god.
Of Assyria.
Oh, okay,
Right.
and that's where the eggs come in.
Yes.
That makes sense. Why is it
pronounce her
different?
name in the
I'm
Greek
trying to figure this
translation is
shit out.
Esther or Easter, but her name is Ishtar.
Ishtar, yes.
Ishtar, and she's the god of fertility. And we got the Easter Bunny because the Easter Bunny, the rabbit,
Which don't lay
They
eggs.
multiply.
rabbits don't lay eggs,
They multiply.
but rabbits are
Multiply.
very promiscuous.
Yeah. And
Or
fruit.
hamsters.
Humping like rabbits.
Yeah.
Humping like rabbits.
No,
Is where that term
he ain't got
comes
the
from.
hamster.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
he got the
Hamsters.
hamster.
I thought
And that's why tricks are for kids, you silly rabbit.
Exactly.
Bars.
It's right in your face. It's right in your face. All you gotta do is pay
History
attention.
is deeper because when you have Easter, Easter is a time when the Europeans celebrated the spring equinox.
Right.
And that's when the activity of to plant or the sign to plant a new harvest, you get a longer activity of the sun over the plant.
And I think Christmas was the sacrifice that they
that
made,
was the winter solstice.
the winter solstice, and there was a sacrifice to be made
Right.
for that new harvest.
For the new harvest to
Yeah.
come. Because once you had the winter solstice,
They would actually offer their kids up
Yeah.
inside of a hot
They used a
plate,
cauldron.
cauldron, they would offer their kids up.
Damn, as times has changed. Now we do everything to fucking keep them happy. Like,
Yeah. They would incinerate their kids in a cauldron.
They still sacrificing the kids.
They still sacrificing the kids mentally.
Now.
Yeah, no.
The kids are being sacrificed mentally now.
Right, they flipped the script
Y'all have
for
children?
everything.
Have y'all had children yet?
No, I don't have any children.
Okay.
You do got kids.
Dang, yo.
Nobody's sacrificing kids in here.
I have kids, motherfuckers. Yes.
You know, you get prenatal shots when you're pregnant. And the
Yeah.
prenatal shots, based upon what you're having, is either a dose of estrogen
Or-
testosterone. What they've been doing is putting estrogen in women with male fetuses
That
and testosterone in.
Oh, wait,
That
who's
explains-
I must-
doing that?
yeah, that
Wait,
explains-
wait,
that
wait,
explains
wait,
a
wait,
lot.
wait.
That
Who's
explains
doing
it.
that?
Because you
Who you think doing that?
because you notice the women
I'm not
nowadays,
saying
like the young girls, they tough as hell.
Hold on a second. Let me put this in the-
They so
They're
bad.
bigger, they're
perspective.
bigger,
And then they
stronger.
masculine, and then like the men, they pussy.
feminine.
They
Right.
pussy.
Hold
You know what
on.
I'm saying?
No, say it again.
Stop.
Men,
Yeah.
they pussy.
Yeah, they are. It's like-
No, you gotta enunciate that. They pussy.
Pussy.
So you're saying-
In Jersey, you can say pussy,
You're saying,
but in Philly, you gotta say pussy.
Pussy.
So every female takes prenatal vitamins,
They pussy.
not based off the sex of the baby. The one thing that they base anything off of is an RH negative shot, which they put in your ass if your baby's the opposite blood of you. There's nothing. Them prenatal vitamins are normal vitamin.
All right.
What I'm saying is,
They said about shotting them in the belly.
She's gonna defend it because that's her.
I'm in the health field.
That's her
I do
field.
ultrasound 20-some years.
So she's
So
go-
am I, so am
Okay, I do ultrasound 20-some years. I know.
I know
I know what's up.
6.5 years. What I'm saying is this: you and I both know that we're not the chemists, the biochemists that create the so-called medicine that we take.
Absolutely not. But the hormones are coming from the food.
Hold on.
That's what's
Hold on.
increasing
Hold on.
the estrogen.
That's
Hold
true,
on.
too.
Watch this. What we're told is one thing. What's being done is another. And those who are telling us has always lied. They have
Right.
never told
Everything
the
in
truth.
fucking life.
No,
Everything.
but if that's the case, then of course this situation is the same.
It could be.
Well, I'm just saying the evidence is there. When you start seeing the evidence, if you plant a seed and leave it alone and allow rain and sunshine to germinate it, guess what will happen? Eventually, the fruit, the vegetable will grow. So we see the evidence, and we can't explain the evidence because, as we know, if you're over 35, 25 years ago, there was not the same activity genetically that's happening in
Now.
our society.
But
so we have to attest that there's a reason why.
Yes,
Right.
hormones in the food. That's being injected by the government and everybody else.
Same
to pump
thing.
up food
Right.
for more money.
That's
That's the same thing.
I'm not saying prenatal vitamins. I don't know what anything is in any food. That's why we all try to go organic now. But I was just,
Which is very expensive.
I was just saying the whole
Not just that. you have to
prenatal thing
question-
is
you have
not
to
based
Right.
off a gender
The process of how-
Right.
and
yeah.
stuff.
It's
That's what
all
I'm
a part of
saying.
the system.
Right.
We as a society, specifically black people, I'll say from my experience, and not excluding you,
Listen.
but I'm speaking specifically from my experience. I can attest to this. We came to America as slaves. Generationally, we have not broken the activity of the curse because we have not united in the activity of thought to break the curse.
Yep.
But we also have to take into consideration that we were traveling here before the slave trade.
No, we were already here and
Right,
established.
right.
We had a society.
A whole government.
established before slavery became an activity of law and business.
Okay.
However, what I'm saying is this: we do not provide.
Right.
The basic
We don't have education system. We don't have a
supplies of
banking
survival.
system. We don't have hospitals. We don't have
clothing,
food.
or shelter.
Right.
We don't own the land that we have.
And that's why we don't have our last
Food on
names.
it,
Wait a
and we
minute,
don't have clothing.
wait a minute. I thought the Black Panther movement had all that back in the 60s and 70s. They had clinics, they had schools, they had that kind of stuff.
Who?
It was the Black Panther movement.
No. Mistake it not. The Black Panther movement was intricate in establishing a consciousness in the black neighborhood.
Right.
But the Black Panther movement were in very small pockets
Right.
in America. The Black Panther movement was a street conscious spinoff from what was the growing conglomerate of black consciousness at the time was the Nation of Islam. And the
Right.
Nation of Islam had airplanes and all of the shipping from all over the world for food for us and all of that stuff. But in the 70s, that diminished. when it broke up.
Right.
So
Because they deem the Black Panthers as a
hostile terrorism.
Yeah.
well,
But we have Black
everybody
Panthers, we have
everybody that has come.
You kind of look like a Black Panther tonight.
Yeah, everybody. everybody
You in formation right now, bro.
has always been
You got your hair in the mic.
as a terrorist, so like Jesus in the Bible. Jesus was, if Jesus was alive right now, up under his present story that we read and we're professed unto, he would be a terrorist. An international
Which is why they wanted to
terrorist.
kill him.
He'll be this guy to go everywhere, and he'll be saying things to corrupt the government. As a matter of fact,
Well, that's why he was
Jesus' crime
crucified.
was sedition.
Was it
We
not?
don't know that. Most people don't know that. Why?
His crime was what?
Sedition.
Sedition.
Right, creating a corrupt activity against the government. See, however, we run around a part of the system that the government gives us, and once you revolt against that system,
Right.
you become.
I mean, y'all. I mean, you clearly can see who gets killed, and they took the government to court to prove that they killed Martin Luther King, and they won.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, so
And
you can
Malcolm
clearly
X.
see,
Yeah.
and Malcolm X, you can clearly see, and I'm gonna go as far as Nipsey Hussle. I'm gonna go as far as
Biggie and Pop.
Biggie and Pac. You can clearly see the people that get killed are the people that go against the system
And unite people as one
and
mind.
unite people. You know what I'm saying? And
Not people. Us.
Bring any
Right.
resources,
Because we're the
any
only,
resources,
we're the only
anything.
living creature. I tell the kids this now to hopefully stave off that development in their future. We're the only living creature that's been conditioned to think individualistically
Instead
on
of-
the planet. There's no other living creature on the planet that thinks individualistically except black people in America. Everybody else.
think as a group.
Right.
Well,
Why people
this is
say,
what this is about, man.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. United National Interdependent Organizational Network.
Say it again.
Hence why they furious.
Say it again.
United National, not independent.
Right.
Interdependent Organizational Network.
Facts.
So every company that I have ever started, whether it's Cartel 9, 9 being a number that gives birth to itself. 9 and 9 is 18, 8 plus 1 is 9.
Sure indeed.
Liberty City, we are in search of our freedom. Everything that I have implemented and organized and pulled together has a sole purpose.
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's like you may not see it on the surface because I know that it has to be hidden in order for
It's a
our
fact.
people or people of the same frequency, not even just melanated people of the same frequency, because that's what we all are. I mean, as far as our melanation and non-melanated people, we are actually all from one place on this planet. We all life begin by the equator. You know what I'm saying? Where it could flourish and come into creation. You know what I'm saying? And we migrated.
Scientific, universal
Truth.
fact.
Yes.
I definitely 100% agree. I'm just telling you that there's a particular element
There is.
that in our generational activity, and we need unity like we need. The
But we have to
culture.
understand that we are all reflections.
That's the same energy that we need. We
So-
need to,
so-
we need to focus
so
on the
Jakim.
campaign of unity.
Right.
Like we focused on the campaign. Like if America really cared, and I say to this anybody listening, share the thought. If America really cared, if we really give a damn. I see the Asian campaign for the Asian security. If we really gave a damn, why don't we have a campaign on black functional unity? Like we have a campaign for black brutality, black on black crime, black women's abuse, child abuse,
All of that.
LGBTQ, ZXYZ affairs.
Whoa, well,
Why
damn,
don't we-
we're like-
Think about
Why
it.
don't
Hey,
we have-
Jakim, think about it for a second.
Same
All in there.
campaign for
Can-
black unity.
what is my name?
Oh, I know, Montana Black.
Montana Black.
Already.
3 LAK, because there are 3 stages of black of darkness, right? And there are 3 places where you can find this 3 stages of darkness. At the bottom of the ocean, in the deepest recesses of the space,
And right here in this studio.
and in a woman's vagina,
Wow.
Y'all heard that?
right?
What about the universe, like outside of
That's what I just said.
Okay.
I said that.
Okay. I'm like,
Yes. You know what I'm saying? So everything that I create is of the mind. Like everything. You know what I'm saying? There was nothing, even, the name Union Society, that Q came up with the name Union Society for this show.
Oh, props to Q.
Do you remember that?
No,
Thank you.
No, he we sat and we brainstormed.
Like you and I on society.
And that was the way he broke it down. You and I on society.
I
I
didn't
didn't know.
remember you saying that.
Okay, cool.
You know what I'm saying? And it was, and once I heard it, it was just like,
Da-ding.
that's it. That's it. Because
Yep.
again, whether you're non-melanated, whether you're melanated, none of us is walking off of this planet.
Nope.
Maybe. We might. And we might come to that sooner or later. It seems like we're headed in that direction. But until then, we all stuck on this rock. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going nowhere. So it is you and I on society. It could be in society,
I got you.
but we're on it.
But we looking down.
Because we're online.
Know all this shit.
Like it all made sense to me when he said it. You know what I'm saying? It all came together and it made sense for me, and it definitely coincided with everything else. Union 215, and I left it at 215 because I don't feel as though I'm great as Harriet Tubman, but they said she freed over 300 slaves and she would have freed more had they known they were slaves. So I said I can at least try to get 215.
But it's 215. It's 215 the area.
215 is also the area code of Philadelphia, because Philadelphia was once what Washington D.C. is.
Right.
Not to mention, Philadelphia was where Harriet Tubman was bringing the slaves.
Exactly.
Still, actually organized that faction of the Underground Railroad.
So it's a lot of underlining. It's like the same way you could see the underlining messages on TV shows, and it's a lot of underlining messages when you're dealing with me. Right, when you're dealing with what I create from my mind, and actually with the combination of all the minds in here that create another mind. You know what I'm saying? Because once this becomes like a think tank in here, and we all collaborating mentally, even those who don't speak on anything. Over there, mine. Okay.
Was it dying?
So I'm not on here, right? All right. So, all right, yeah. I'm going to let Jakim take it from here.
Well, bro, I just wanted to add on that generationally.
Wrong. Skeet.
The only way that we can solve the generational curse is to become presently conscious and begin feverishly acting against what we already know has plagued us.
Yes.
Because we talk about it, we have conscious leaders and great orators, but we fail to actively unify as a movement behind what has been told, what has been revealed, what has been shared, what has been researched and discovered. And we fail on that, and so we repeat the activity of the curse generationally. And we need to stop the activity of separatists in our mindset and start thinking as a unit. Once we do that, then everyone else will follow, because I was telling the brother about Kanye. I said, I remember when Kanye said he wanted to be president, like 2008. That's when Obama became president. Now, here it is, 2021, and he's positioned himself
To become president.
Yeah. See, so when you speak something, bring it into reality. And regardless of how other people may disagree, disapprove,
Doesn't matter. Downplay,
distract, deny you, just focus, unify your thought, and make a conscious effort and activity behind it. So being who we are and how we are is one thing, but we should be we. Instead of saying I or mine or me,
So do
we
you
start thinking as we.
So do you think the fact that we do think separately all to ourselves is the reason why we can't unify as quickly?
That's a part of the system. The system has programmed us to think separately. It can't.
So is it a bad thing that we think like that though? Because you just
separately?
No, because it brings more to the
You were saying,
light.
you were saying earlier, we're the only creature on earth that thinks of a separate mind instead of one mind. So do you think that being separated mind makes us hard to unify as a people?
I think I can answer this. I think when you're mentally developing from an infant to a toddler to a preteen to an adult, initially you're thinking I as a baby. It's I against everybody, right? And then once you recognize the family unit, it becomes we. You know what I'm saying? And then after we, and depending on male or female, and you draw a bigger circle, like you guys are my extended family, and it becomes an us. And then you start to recognize, the likeness between you and other people. You know what I'm saying? And somewhere inside of us, a lot of us never get out of the I phase.
Gotcha.
And we go and we fight in the entire world, even us.
And we
Right.
be stuck at us instead of going to the next level, which is all.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
And that's adding on that when we look at individuals, everything you've seen in life got a collective. Like you ain't never seen one snowflake.
Just one out of the sky.
Yeah, like one raindrop.
Right.
See, like one blade of grass. See, like everything belongs to a collective, and everything functions in a collective. So we're the only one that's running around saying, I got mine, I want me, and that mindset has taken you away from everyone else. You've never heard of, as I was telling the sisters 2 weeks ago, you've never heard of an independent Chinese woman.
Wow.
Yo, every time, hey, Jakim,
You don't ever see
listen.
a pregnant Asian woman
Oh, I
either.
know
Do you
too.
know they
Jakim.
hibernate inside?
Jakim, every time
just
I go
raising
into the
her up.
Chinese store and I see the woman
I know.
handling the money at the front of the counter, and there's 3 or 4 men back there on the woks, like, and the system that they have is so well oiled,
All their stuff.
and they own that building, right? And the kids are being put through medical school or some type of position where they're going to end up in power. And then with the forbearance of taxes on that property, once that 10 years is up, they bring the cousin over and put the property in his name, get another 10 years,
Yep.
and still ain't paying taxes on it.
Yep, brothers, sisters, they do that over and over.
No.
It's all.
Yes.
See, no, watch.
Well, she's half Italian, half Russian.
No, see, which campaign? See what I'm.
There's no
What
campaign.
I'm trying to say is this. You know what sounds familiar to us?
What?
A strong, independent black woman.
It sounds.
That sounds very familiar.
It sounds very familiar.
Because we're, as a people, we have been conditioned.
And they believe there's nothing wrong with that.
When in reality, it's an oxymoron.
I'm trying to think of the sister's name who actually professed that phrase and was telling black women, like,
I know
we
you're talking
didn't know that came with not having a man, or
Shahrazad Ali.
that's her name.
Yep.
Oh man, she is so profound in her teachings.
Since 1989. I was in college when I first seen her, bro.
Yeah, she be wrecking that whole idea, that whole mindset. She just annihilates it.
Bro, she's serious with it. But like, she wrote a book on it. The Black Man Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. See, because from a black woman's perspective, you don't see life the same because you've been taught to look at life individualistically.
Bro, I didn't see my kids get raised in reverse roles, man.
Depend on the system. Just imagine if the system wasn't there, though. Like, just imagine that. Imagine if we were still a republic.
Can I tell this story? And this is my own personal story because I watched it with my parents, right? With my mother, who was on welfare, and as a kid, and my dad would take her check. And I'm like, that's fucked up. That's fucked up, man. You taking her money, man. You know what I'm saying? As a kid, this is what I'm thinking.
Right.
That's fucked up. And then I'm growing up and I'm seeing, like, oh, okay, that was actually his money.
Yeah.
So then I get into a relationship with my first kid's mom, and I tell her, I got the rent, I got the food. Go ahead to school. You want to be a dental hygienist?
Right.
I got us. I'm getting money on the street. I got a job. We got a car. We got an apartment. I only ask one thing: do not get on welfare.
Right.
We don't need no government assistance. We don't need no help. I got it.
We don't need Massa to bring us back to the plantation.
You know what the first thing she do?
Overseer.
6 months into our new apartment, get on welfare.
Do you know? I need.
So then after that, she winds up breaking up with me, taking that welfare money, moving back to her mom's house, feeding her mom, her mom's husband, and her with my fucking money that I had to pay back over $8,000 fucking dollars to the fucking system.
I am very familiar with that system.
Why would she do that, though?
Then it all goes back to the
The
beginning.
system is
like,
designed for that.
it's all goes back to
That's
the
why
beginning
she
of
did it.
mental
The system is
conditioning,
designed-
though.
That's why she
I
did
said,
it.
Like, it's all mental conditioning. We've been tricked from the beginning. So just like how you said, like, it create the separation from the woman, because it's all about what it sounds like. It sounds good. It sounds great. Like,
Bro,
you know,
listen.
Sounds empowering.
I'm all for women having a certain sense.
Wasn't
of
we having this
strength,
conversation
right?
earlier,
But
Philly Boss Woman,
it's-
about women empowerment?
Yeah.
It's because of what it sounds like. You don't never want a woman to be weak,
No.
but it's not about being weak. Everybody has a position that they have to play.
That's
You
it.
understand what I'm saying? Like the man has a position, the woman have a position, the kids have a position, the grandparents they have a position.
Yep.
But
Right.
See, the problem of it is that we've been
Everybody get out of their position and
Yeah.
try to implement and imprint themselves
Right.
on the next person because you want them to do it the way that you did it, knowing that shit didn't fucking work for
But
you.
Look. It's getting worse every year because like now it's like everything that was wrong. If you tell somebody that it's wrong, you the bad guy.
You the bad guy.
Right?
Yeah.
Because now it's like everything is like, oh, what are you judging me?
conditioned,
Are you
yeah.
judging me? Oh, you shame me? Like slut shaming. Where did that word even
Slut
crazy
shaming?
come from?
But
Like
see,
slut
Or
shaming.
victim shaming.
Right? It's like, like
we
you know
had
what's
that
crazy?
discussion.
Victim
You know what?
shaming.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's,
That's a
problem with
phrase.
us as well too. We don't understand the English language.
Oh, I do. I understand the etymology of it.
Right. So when you say a word to someone, brother was speaking to me the other day, and I said, well, homosexuals. He's like, no, I mean gay people. I said, well, no, they're not gay. They're homosexual. I said,
'Cause gay is
definition
happy.
Of, right.
Right,
The
exactly,
definition
yeah.
of the word
Yeah.
is happy, fondantly liking thereof. So if you're that, you can't be that and lead the world in suicide rate. See, so something's wrong with my understanding of why would you place that label upon you when that's not the behavior that the label implies.
And why would they take the entire rainbow? Like we can't use the rainbow?
Yeah,
Like
no.
why you gonna take the whole rainbow, bro?
Well,
I remember being a kid defending that word,
the
gay.
rainbow is their rightful choice. See, I have nothing against the LGBT community.
Me neither. But can we use the rainbow
But the
too?
rainbow's used in multiple different forms. Crossing over the rainbow to
The
die. You got
Arc-Nation
cross.
rainbow.
There's so many rainbow.
Rainbow put together, what do you get?
Well, in saying,
All colors
directly
rainbow.
to what we were speaking on,
White.
All the colors of rainbow put together.
you have different facets, like a diamond, in how we live in life. How we live in life.
Right.
And people are seeing different activities of the reflection. When in reality, we should be looking at one light. That one light will prevent us from repeating the generational curses. And that's the problem, man. We keep repeating the curse.
And on that note, with the whole generational curses, I hope that everybody took something from what was said this evening, from all the perspectives that were added and given. And again,
And positive. Don't
don't take-
We're not making anybody wrong.
we're not making anybody wrong for any decisions that they have chosen in their path, because your life is yours and yours alone. Any lesson that you've learned, like, you can share those lessons, and that's what we're doing here. And it may help somebody, and if it doesn't apply, then let it fly. And this is you and I on Society.
Ah, nice.
Tell y'all.